Hi, welcome to the Writer's Toolbox, and today we're going to be looking at thesis statements. Sometimes when you're asked to write an essay, you might feel really confident. This is because you know a lot about the theme, symbols, characters, devices, setting, plot, and tone. However, when you come to put all this together in an essay, it can be a little bit overwhelming. This is why you need your thesis statement. Your thesis statements helps you cut away all the unnecessary parts so you're left with a strong, coherent essay. But what is a thesis statement? A thesis statement is a statement that directly answers your essay question or prompt. Everything in your essay should connect back to your thesis statement. There are some criteria that we can use in order to check the quality of our thesis statement. Ask yourself these three things. Number 1. Does the thesis statement answer the question or prompt with a strong claim? Remember, a strong claim is something that says how and why and not just what. Is the thesis statement placed at the end of your introduction? This is the correct place for your thesis statement to be placed. Finally, does your thesis statement make sense without any other information? If you have a thesis statement without a paragraph to support it, it should still make sense. If you meet all this criteria, then you have a strong thesis statement. Let's see this in action. Perhaps you're given this question. You understand it well and you have a response. That response is your thesis statement. Once you have your thesis statement, you can write your essay, to which you place the thesis statement at the end of your introduction, which again directly answers the question or prompt. As you're writing the essay, everything that comes after will connect to your thesis statement. This is why your thesis statement is so strong, because it's the thing that holds everything together. Let's look at an example. Suppose you're studying Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale. Just for some context, The Handmaid's Tale is set in a dystopian future where the environment has been destroyed by nuclear and biological warfare, and a lot of women are left unable to have children. Gilead, the setting of the story, is a society controlled by a fundamentalist regime that treats women as possessions of the state. Here, the remaining fertile women who can have babies are dressed in red gowns and white hats and are made to live with upper-class members of society to help them have a baby. Maybe this was your essay prompt that you were given. Gilead is a society divided into different social groups. Explain how Margaret Atwood uses one or more social groups to develop a theme. You think about this for a while and you come up with this thesis statement. In The Handmaid's Tale, Atwood develops the theme of rebellion. Let's have a look. Is this a good thesis statement? Well, yes, it stands alone. We understand this sentence without any other context to help us. It's not a strong claim, however, and it doesn't fully answer the question. Although it's talking about a theme that's developed, it's not talking about the social groups that are used to do so. So, let's revise this. What would be better? How about this? In her novel, The Handmaid's Tale, Atwood depicts the effects of totalitarianism through the suffering of the handmaids. Now, do we understand this without any other context? Yes, it stands alone. Is it a strong claim? Yes. By adding through the suffering of the handmaids, we're giving the reader a how. They're understanding how something is done, not just what happens. This is a strong claim. And does it answer the question? Yes. We're talking about the theme, the effects of totalitarianism, and we're talking about how it's done through social groups, in this case, the handmaids. Let's check another example. Maybe you're given this question. How does Margaret Atwood use symbolism to develop the themes of her novel, The Handmaid's Tale? You think for a while and you come up with this thesis statement. Symbolism is used for fertility, violence, and death. Let's see. Does it meet our criteria? Well, yes, it answers a question. How does she use it? Well, she uses it to develop the themes fertility, violence, and death. However, it's not a strong claim. This is just telling me what happens. What is she using symbolism for? She's not telling me why, or she's not telling me how specifically she does that. And it doesn't stand alone. This is because we need other information to understand this example. So, perhaps you revise that and you come up with this example now. In her novel, The Handmaid's Tale, Atwood uses the colour red to symbolise fertility, violence and death. Now, this is a lot better because it stands alone. We don't need any other information to know what we're talking about here. It's a strong claim. We're saying why Atwood uses the colour red, and it also answers the question directly. Let's look at one more example. How does Margaret Atwood present the position of women in society in her novel The Handmaid's Tale? Maybe this is your thesis statement. In her novel The Handmaid's Tale, Margaret Atwood presents women to be strong and resilient through indirect characterization. Okay, let's have a look. It stands alone. I don't need any other information to understand this. It's a strong claim. At the bottom, we have through direct characterization. This tells us how she does that. But it doesn't answer the question. Let's read the question one more time. How does Margaret Atwood present the position of women in society in her novel, The Handmaid's Tale? In this thesis statement, we do talk about women, we do use a strong claim, and it stands alone. However, we're not talking about women within society. We're talking about the characteristics of women in a novel. They are strong and they're resilient. Let's try and revise this. Margaret Atwood, in her novel, The Handmaid's Tale, explores misogyny through the gender roles of her characters. Okay, this stands alone. It's a strong claim, and this time it answers a question. By talking about misogyny, we know we're talking about power relationships in society and the unfair treatment of women. Okay, one final one. What are the main methods of control in the Gileadian regime and how are these portrayed? Here's the thesis statement. Through biblical allusions, The Handmaid's Tale explores the ways in which oppressive governments use religion as a means of control. Pause the video for a moment and consider, does this meet the criteria? Okay, let's have a look. Well, it stands alone. We don't need any other context to understand this thesis statement. It's a strong claim. We explain how something is happening through biblical allusions in this case. And finally, yes, it does. It answers the question directly because we're looking at the methods of control within the regime, and it talks about using religion as a means of control in a thesis statement. So this is a very good thesis statement. So just to remember, thesis statements, they are extremely important. What they do is they answer the question directly and everything in your essay connects back to them. Also, there are some criteria you can use to check the strength of your thesis statement. You can ask, is it a strong claim? Are you saying how and why rather than just what? Is it at the end of your introduction? And finally, does it make sense without any other information? Thank you.